This is so good, so about as far as and than studio on a Monday, and you have say success has, and though I don't have lots of friends because Liverpool, you never walk alone. And then here on Locker Room on Voice. My name is Jerry. So much going into today's show as we take a look at the champions who wants to be day to be Liverpool all champions at attempts. The fact that this team has only lost 2 games this season is attributed to the fact that this team has been phenomenal, and you must give them. Ikechukwu does here with us. It's great to have, and then on titles, you're saying Liverpool is going to up, win the Premier League, Man United win Europa League. I remember when I used to be, there was a Chelsea fan that came on air. He called all the titles. At the end of the season, I said, "Okay, come, all the titles you shared, other people have collected it. Ikechukwu, how far? You are sharing titles when at some point in time this year. This is May. Newcastle has won the Carabao Cup. Liverpool are champions."
Jerry, Liverpool won the league, and yes, we ahead for at the end of the season, especially make it. Congratulations to Nigeria, Remo Stars, the league. That's what you about today. I said Liverpool Cup. Right. You know how prophecy works. Sometimes
Don't see.
What you
don't become all those roadside prophets. All those politicians. See, you are not a prophet.
The only trophy you're supposed to win,
you
lost it. God decided to compensate you on that trophy to replace that one. That's exactly what happened. And it was because you begged me afterwards.
You are a fake.
And I told you, if you don't beg me, you will not get it.
See, you are a fake prophet. You are a fake one.
No.
Just leave the status of prophet.
How many trophies did you win?
Become an analyst.
Okay, give it to me that I said you win one trophy.
I'm not giving you anything.
I said you win one trophy. See, yes. Okay, wait. Did I say you win one trophy?
Today is not about what you said. Today is about Liverpool are champions of England.
Just one
and that statement, I also want to make that statement clear that PGMOL gave Liverpool the trophy.
We'll have that conversation.
No, but that conversation is dead on arrival.
Jerry.
That conversation does not hold any water. For a team that lost only 2 games this season, I think that conversation is dead on arrival. That assertion is dead on arrival.
Let me allow you
so I want
enjoy your league title.
No,
it's a good day to be champion.
Because you see what's on the group. Anyway, I don't know whether I don't know because he was busy praying that Man City will lose. But I don't know. Man City had other plans, and it seems like they might be going for the FA Cup.
It's very likely because if you see that game against Nottingham Forest, Man City were completely them play like that in a long time. Man City clear like dominated that game. The difference in class between themselves, and trust me, actually turned up through season. Having this conversation about them in this top 4 race, but then it's the dynamics of away, and they are in the finals of the FA Cup. Going by the and the team side, the side are really it's going to be quite an interesting game. But then I think Man City will match, on Saturday.
Because Nottingham Forest had a feel of what it means. Competitive game, talking about Manchester City showed them a bit of the fact that they are more experienced in handling games like this. But let's start off. Head coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Richel, has a dilemma on his hand when it comes to picking players who will represent Nigeria in the will be followed by another friendly game against Russia on the 6th of June. England, the league, and there are various leagues around the same weekend for the tournament, which could force the coach into calling up other players also based in Europe, as opposed to the idea of the Nigerian Football Federation, who want the team to be largely made up of players from the Nigerian Premier Football League. So it's a big case. The NFF the league would have been wrapped up before then, but it seems like Richel is bent on using his full-fledged players.
He's a man who likes to actually control his space, and it's quite good for a manager if you're actually in charge of the dressing room, and it means that you actually stand up. I'm not saying the decision to actually play the Osimhen of this world or foreign-based players is actually the right one, but I think it is a prerogative of a coach. The first thing a coach must bring is to show that, yes, it is my choose the player. So if he decides to actually play foreign-based players, it is his call. Let him. I understand what the NFF are saying. The question is this: we have a team, going for this double header in our last two World Cup qualifiers game. How many of these MPFL are playing? Exactly where for the Chan Eagles to be part of it. That's a very big. That's exactly where I was actually screaming and shouting that you say these guys are actually the Super Eagles team B. These guys to get. He didn't do a friendly game. The man needs to actually test his first players. He knows that there's really no plans for the MPFL players in the long term for the Super Eagles, and that's just what the truth is. We have to be very honest with ourselves. The MPFL guys, the only plan for them at this point is to actually play the Chan tournament, and hopefully they win it. Then if they win it, we can now start seeing a pocket of players that can actually draft into the main team, which is the Super Eagles team A. But for now, for me, I think what I see here is a man who just wants to control his space, who wants to actually show that it is his call to make decisions. I just want the MPFL, rather the NFF, to respect that.
All right. Okay. So the NFF should respect the fact that he wants to pick his players. And if he says he doesn't, what about giving the MPFL players a chance? But the thing is that even the MPFL players, they're going to be playing up till almost the time for this friendly as well.
So the thing is this, right? I understand what they are trying to do. They want, this MPFL guy to dominate that particular team. That's quite understandable. But my point is this: we have played a World Cup qualifiers. We have a Chan Eagles that you say they are the Super Eagles team B. Naturally, every team has its team A and team B, right? Now, a national team, when you say they are team Bs, it means that they are the ones who will be sitting on the bench, right? So if you say they are the ones who will be sitting on the bench, or they are the team B, technically you are saying that they are part of the Super Eagles. Why didn't you about 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in the double header that went to execute the game of Rwanda and Zimbabwe. Why didn't we see that? Now the NFF didn't push for that crop of players at that point. But now they are pushing for those crop of players in the friendly. Friendly games are meant to be a game where a sort of game where coaches look at a lot of things from tactical, look at players who can actually fit into their plans, look at players that can several positions, and you only do those things with players who you have plans for in the long term. Right. Friendly games for club size just like preseason. This is an opportunity for you to actually look at your squad. So if the man decides to actually say, okay, since this is a friendly game, let me now use this opportunity for my players. Because obvious, if you saw our 2 games, you know Eric doesn't know these boys. He wants to know them. He wants to understand how he can actually bring out the best in them. Now, we also have an Eagles team, which is the Super Eagles team B, or the MPFL, be part of the Super Eagles plan long term. No coach will come in today and see them as long-term players. This is not the we've actually that we've seen them as people who are not who are that's what them there's a he wants to actually, you cannot test this group of players major competition of this world work that who you have plans for. The only time this have been understood is that 2 years decides to actually use the MPFL to actually execute this game. That can be understood. But then in this case, he doesn't really know these guys. So we need to give him the time to actually know he can succeed. Any coach who does not know his players can succeed and even start to look at the mentality of understand the mentality of the players. How do you even start to actually look at the kind of person that fits your tactics? How do you even know, okay, this guy can actually play only 20 minutes or this guy can only play only 70 minutes? How do you know all of these things if you don't test them out in games that are of less competition, a less competition? These things are the reasons why I kind of understand what the share is actually saying, and I think they should give him the time if they actually want him to succeed.
All right, Maiwa, we understand is now with us. Maiwa, it's great to have you join us on Long Room. You did not definitely, as you can see me, I'm feeling and dressed like a champion, and of course, Ikechukwu has gotten his own fair share. Though you've congratulated me in the closet.
I congratulated you too.
No, I don't need your congratulations. I've always said, I've always be honest. Maya, congratulate me or not. I don't need this.
Well, it's your time to brag. It's a 2-in-1 weekend. The Remo Stars, they are also crowned, MPFL champion for the first time in their history. It shows how preparation and how will get you. It's a good to you again. Brag. Even from doing it. However, that you say.
Don't worry.
To you.
You can come out. No problem. I well, get your invite coming. And when the trophy unveiling to Arsenal of honor is going to give and some the next
Chelsea free and to do once, whether he fails or he's going to be let him fit, whether he wants to go and play as base players, they are giving him the job, let him do the job. All these things they are doing will bring unnecessary rancor. And I don't want a situation whereby Chelsea will be frustrated out of the job and we have to go back, to the starting point again, where the NFF will take another 18 months before they appoint a coach. I think NFF is doing too much. They should allow Chelsea do the job they have appointed him to do without any interference from the glass house.
Yeah, and the interesting part of this Friendlies is that World Football Governing Body in any way involved Super Eagles upcoming England and against Russia. Usually, FIFA use friendly games in determining the ranking of new. But for the Super Eagles games and the 4 teams, there will be Tobago, Ghana, and Jamaica. The tournament falls outside of the prescribed window by FIFA for international friendly games, which is from the 2nd of June. It also means there will be a problem of insurance in the event that any player gets injured during the game, as FIFA, who usually pay the who gets injured, while won't be involved. And also the game won't be graded by FIFA because of their current suspension from international football owing to an invasion of Ukraine. And the game will also suffer the above mentioned stand by FIFA on insurance, since they are also not involved. Why does it look like there's something the NFF is not telling us, Maiwa?
Well, the thing is the lack of organization in the NFF a long way. How do you want to play? How do you want to participate that FIFA does not guarantee, the insurance of the player? And the reason for that is it wouldn't have mattered if Nigeria we have seen it in so-called established national assignment, and the best they can do code and go to the leg injured, and that will be it. And again, we have said it consistently, documentation for NFF is very have a calendar. Any should fall within FIFA's calendar. I can understand the case of. I don't think it's fair for them. It shouldn't affect their football. However, the way to. However, should better in terms of match in a window whereby it will be covered about the. I don't even care about the ranking, but I care about the player. Also, particular match active. The reason is known of not taking care of their players. Why would you want to risk getting injured? FIFA will not guarantee and it shows that who are not well, running our moment. That we have this at the moment, after 70 years of in football as a federation.
Ikechukwu, the situation will not be involved. So if at the end all these crises, they're the ones that are players in the period for their club side. I didn't make we pay NFF. For the NFF to be showing it does not recognize this, so on and so forth. Well taken care of in events.
What very honest with ourselves. The first thing is the top players will not show up. That's one. Two, let's now talk about the injury is part of the game. So the players who will be coming up, for this particular game, Nigerian end will definitely be coming from the coming on knowing that okay, I want to give my best. I want an opportunity to actually play for the Super Eagles. So that's why they will be coming. Yes, whether they will be legit, obviously they will. I mean, it's so shameful that we've retrogressed this bad that something like this just game. I mean, top football nations will not be part of stuff like this outside FIFA window. But of course, because we've so much downgraded ourselves, we'll definitely be part of stuff like this. I think it's for me, it speaks to the character and integrity of people who run our football. You do not, there's certain at some point at what it is. Have to lose, give their best. They want to fight for the jersey. They want to be part of the Super Eagles. The Super Eagles is a big brand in Africa, so for them, it's a win-win for them. But for the organization, and of course the country at large, going to a space like this is so shameful. I'm not proud to see Nigeria playing in this sort of games outside FIFA window. But it's unfortunate. Like you always say, it is what it is.
All right. The tone. The fact that Russia has been banned by FIFA. Why does it look like the NFF is still hell bent on playing this friendly? Looking at the that comes with.
No, if there's actually a problem, right? If a problem arises from the NFF should have known, and of course, I don't think this game would have go on. Obviously, there's no problem. There's no rising from this playing this game against Russia. That's why you see this game, going ahead. But yes, this particular game, Nigeria is a big brand. So for Russia, it's a very good point for them to actually start testing their players. What for Russia to come up to say, okay, we want to play friendly, it simply means that they really close. That's what that's they have to and knows that this of our trust me, after this friendly, give it a year. Before the World Cup, Russia's ban will be lifted, and then they will be, ready to actually start playing competitive football again. That's exactly what it is. We might on the surface until it's finally reviewed, but the truth is they've done the assignment, and now for them it's a win to actually play one of the strongest, team in Africa. And Russia, on a good day, obviously they're not a powerhouse. So, coming to this particular game, testing their players is a very big win for them. But for the Super Eagles, we've gone past this level. I mean, this is a game for the likes of Zimbabwe, no disrespect to them, Zimbabwe, Zambia, to actually execute. But then for Nigeria to be caught in this web, it shows that we've really, really gone down. And yes, like they always say, with good rapport, Satan will see, God. And with money, anything can happen. What money cannot do, and that's exactly where we are in this situation with Russia. And I just, for me, right, if I'm a Russian citizen, it's going to be a very big game. But as a Nigerian citizen, I know that this is actually not, what I want to see. So I'll just get to see the new players that are Excel and how he's definitely going to file his team. Hopefully, this sort of players, we might not even see them again in a long time. So, I mean, the way we actually run football here is quite challenging.
All right, it's quite challenging. Okay, and coming to the home front where Remo Stars made history by clinching their first ever Nigerian Premier Football League title with a 1-0 win over Niger. Adebayo scored 4th minute, sparking visions. The win marked a new chapter in Nigerian football history, and Remo Stars dominated the match, creating several scoring opportunities. After 4 years of creating the club side, they get to win the NPFL. I think it's a fairy tale that ended well and the owner of the club side who made a revenue was formed in the league. But things
party a lot.
Yeah.
It's an actually 4 years. In less than 4 years, they've been able Ogumo as I was following the game yesterday, a supporter of Remo Stars, but however, was I was on the edge of my seat when the goal until the 84th minute before magic happened, and finally Remo Stars finally crossed over the line. It shows what what preparation, what dedication, what knowing how to run a football club, know how to division the field on the field. If you look at their process, you will know that they are doing things right. In Nigeria, to how they run football clubs after Remo Stars. I'm not trying to, success was never far away from them, and they've been able to achieve it. Congratulations to Shoname and the rest of the team. Ogumodede has been very fantastic, and I hope because of this we see some players from Remo Stars make it finally to the Super Eagles. I mean, a team that has been able to win the league shows the kind of quality they have, and I hope the rest a looking Remo Stars again.
Remo, and that means we'll be seeing next.
And coming to continent, we're not
Do you know? It's well. I think
we have
sponsor is
hope so. This is a very big, for and of course, state. Not just about Ikorodu City is also doing wonders. I mean, they're actually in the top 5 in the league at this point, and hopefully they can actually end. They might even just breaking into, who knows, but then they're also doing very well this season. And Sunshine Stars also, of course, apart from the fact that they've been caught in a very bad incident lately with Ikorodu City, they're also doing very well. And maybe a couple of years down the line, you can also see emerge again from Southwestern Club. And also, it was a very big game, the Oriental Derby, where Eimba in Enugu, and of course they actually went there and then held the mass, presided over Rangers in their home front, defeated them 2-1, and of course the veteran himself, Stanley Guma. But the interesting thing about this victory for Remo Stars, it showed that the people who actually chose the head of the so-called Super Eagles team B, the people who actually chose the actually did last season it was Fidelis Lechuk of Rangers. He's the assistant coach of the Chan Eagles, and this season the chief coach of the Chan Eagles. He tells you that yes, we have the 2 best coaches in the land handling the Chan again to Remo Stars. They've done it after 25 years of Southwest.
All right, they've done it after 25 years of the Southwest, and talking about the NPFL this season with 68.5 matches. That's quite remarkable of points to win the league. It shows how competitive the league. Back in we used to have 60 points anyway. The league we bought 60. Quite a remarkable one to get from 35 matches to win the league, and of course the victory match.
class. I'm sure he has close till the you know, just like they how Kikechukwu rightly Ogumodede and Fides Lechukwu, they actually see the quality this coach has. And this is an opportunity for them to understudy an Eric Chell. By the time Eric Chell is packing up, I think we should have an Ogumodede stepping up. Also, we should not limit Ogumodede to just the Super Eagles. He can also still cut his teeth internationally with the age grade team. This is also an avenue for us to look at Ogumodede, one of our age grade team, rather than use the usual quota system of under 17 must come from this region, under 20 coach must come from this region. Let's look at the merit of their performance. And I think Fidelis Lechukwu and Ogumodede are the two biggest coaches. And if we want to hire any coach for our A grade team, these are the coaches we should be looking at. I hope Ogumodede can keep up with this momentum. I hope it's not a one season wonder whereby next season we will not see him. I hope he can continue such that he can be and a good CV for himself and also for Remo Stars going forward.
All right, also for Remo Stars going, and congratulations, all going. They've done, and we'll wait to see the top four at the end of it all. We also have Ikorodu City, who's looking very interesting, and at a point it was knocking on the doors, courtesy of talking about Finidi George, but somehow, some way, they lost concentration and it did not happen. Rivers United gave them a run for their money at the tail end of their push to win the title.
True. This is exactly what they say when they say iron sharpened iron, right? If you have that very very strong opponent pushing you, definitely. If towards the tail end of this season, I remember 10 games having a conversation around 6 points or thereabout, but they won with to go and right we can this guy if they're going to they are playing in the continent, knowing that yes, we had a very big fight. Have to go show the stuff of champions. The stake there is a different. Many of these guys have actually not been there before, so it's a new experience for them. And of course, in the Nigerian league, so it's going to be their first experience. Thank God with the exposed, for like I said, he's been part of the Super Eagles setup. He's also the head coach of the Chan, qualified to the Chan tournament. Yes, the man is loaded with. So I think it's really going to guide them. Going to the continent is going to be quite different. So going there, knowing that you've been pushed so hard, I think it's going to really help them, compete very well. I want to see a Nigerian, league club going to the continent, at least make it to the semi-final for the very first time. I mean, after Imba did it, we've not had, anything go beyond the group stage. It's been so sad. We want to see these things happen. We want to see our clubs are comparably. And I just hope it's going to start with Remo Stars.
I just hope it's going to start with Remo Stars, and of course, just a moment, a lot of people are Liverpool Premier League champions won over Tottenham Hotspur. They started the season well. What happened to Tottenham Hotspur? They got 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5-1 lashing out there at Anfield, and this is now the 20th top flight title and equaling Manchester United's record. And the slot side led the league from the front, losing just twice in 34 games, and the victory marked a successful first season for Slot Dutch to win the Premier League. I think everything about the Slot just look good as far as this title winning. He did just win it, just 2 games in 34, and at his first attempt, everybody thought that Liverpool was going to implode. As for me, I thought this was going to be a situation where Liverpool would just struggle to make top four and they can even luxury. But somehow in the midfield was looking good, and I was even worried for the midfield because they tried to make signings, and the worst of it all that he won the league without signing any notable player, and Chiesa was just a player that was much. Yes, he that a league medal because
Games.
They were looking like they were imploding of games. They were now something when everybody were squeezing his form because of injury problem.
Well, from a big player. And top players like that, you know that they are separated from, an average player. The difference is this: they have a class. An average player might just pick form and do better than a top player in one season. But then when the player gets caught up, when people actually focus on him, when the player becomes a player on spotlight, then you definitely see the level the player is actually operating on, and that's exactly what it has proven to be over the years for Mo Salah and players in this category. And talking about Aaron Slot actually did magic with this particular team. Yes, you might say no notable player.
Those are the boys.
But the truth is, right, most of these club side that have actually won the league also bring in many of their players as, and then that is exactly when they have to, and we are actually very good, even if they don't win the league, but it's now going to be how they are going to actually fight and defend the league, even if they end up not winning the league at the end of the day, because it's going to be so disastrous. I mean, look at teams like Leicester City. We've seen teams that won the league this season, and then the next season they are
top four was going to be a luxury for a team that didn't make any signing. A team that didn't make any signing into this team.
A whole lot of people felt it was struggle. We were discussing, we were playing for, and one was, and Slot was going to struggle because it was his first time, and owing to the fact that while struggling, and we thought it was kudos to do something that I like. When he mentioned Jurgen Klopp, you put the built on it and gather the player on it. Also, we are not giving credit enough to Gravenberch. Has been very, very fantastic in the Liverpool midfield. He's very instrumental to what Liverpool achieved this season, and a whole lot of people are not talking about him. Kudos to Liverpool. However, he's just still 20. They are not yet above Manchester. They are still struggling to get above Manchester.
A team that waited for 35 years to get 20 league titles.
35 years.
I mean, come on. Congratulations, Liverpool. Anyway.
To get to number 20.
Congratulations.
The thing is that they are still going to win Premier League before you even start being comfortable in top four. I'm not saying you are going to win it too. Before Man U will even be comfortable in top four, Liverpool would have won 2 more league titles. Just worry, mark it. The thing is that Liverpool are champions. Congratulations to all the co-pites in the world.
After 35 years.
And of course,
the
last time Liverpool won the league, it was in 2019.
Coronavirus.
2019.
This season,
2019 and 2025, they are not far off.
5 years.
So it's 5 years. So the last time Man U won the league, 2011, Abi.
2013.
It's already.
Jerry.
2013.
It's already how many years now? At least 2013 and now, 12 years now. A child who was born 12 years ago is already in secondary school. Don't worry. That child will become a professor. That child will become a professor. Before Man U people start looking at titles. Is it Amorim? Amorim says he wants to win league, abi? Oh, wait, now today is Liverpool. Leave Man U aside. Don't worry. Leave Man U. Man U's problem is just discuss problem where you discuss.
It go carry me go dream beer. Champions Liverpool.
Yeah, but Jerry, there has been this accusation by Ikechukwu especially
that
PGMOL.
That is dead on arrival. See,
Mayowa
let me
good day
see
down.
See it in the box, too much noise. GMO not play 34 games and lose.
Yeah, but referees can help you.
It's not possible.
Yes,
it's not possible.
Look at Jerry.
It's not possible.
But trust me, you are making it easy.
Okay, why did they not help Arsenal?
We are saying they help you. You say why did they not help Arsenal? I don't understand. They help you.
What did they do?
A conversation
Which
on
games?
We can have a conversation.
Tell me the games.
No,
let's have a conversation
just
now.
Go.
No, let's have. If that is good and that win more, is going to win more titles. They even at a point they were given a chance at the Champions League, topping the table against all odds, winning all their games in the Champions League, going far in the Carabao Cup. I think this has been a remarkable season for Arne Slot. Everybody is not saying it much, but Arne Slot has proven that he's a top manager. He has what it takes when it comes to the big leagues.
For me, he's still very much an average manager. Let's improve it again, then we can say, okay.
No, he's not. He's no longer an average manager. He's a manager. He's not a top manager.
No. Winning the league once does not make you a top manager.
No, it makes you. It puts you there. It might not make you a top manager. It puts you in the conversation.
Okay, so winning the Champions League also make you a top manager.
On your first attempt, no.
Okay, winning Champions League also make you a top manager.
On the first attempt.
Yeah, on the first attempt, no.
I'm asking a question so that we'll start pointing at managers that have done something like this and we'll start asking questions.
Yeah, when you win the Champions League, it puts you in the conversation of a top manager.
So does it make you a top manager winning in the first season? That's what I'm asking.
Your first season, your first attempt.
So it makes you?
In England, yeah.
It makes you
in England, yes.
Roberto Di Matteo is a top manager.
Roberto Di Matteo, did he win the league?
Champions League.
He won the Champions League. Yeah, he's a top manager, man.
I know you said you don't believe what you said.
I didn't want to bring Roberto Di Matteo. That's why I'm waiting for you.
I know you don't believe what you said.
I know you want to bring Roberto Di Matteo.
You don't believe this thing you said.
I know you want to bring. The situation of Roberto Di Matteo is quite different.
Jerry, hitting the ceiling does not make you a top manager. It's only let's be very honest, right?
You know what? I know
repeating
you want
what
to spoil.
You've done before.
I know you want to spoil the show. I know you're a spoiler because your prophecy did not come to pass. I know you will feel bad. I'm not the reason why Amorim cannot win anything. I'm not. And why would I buy you beer?
You won the league. Let's celebrate.
I know. You know when you are celebrating with winners, there's this relish. We are celebrating. I want to celebrate people who are 14th on the table. If it's us now,
okay.
I'll celebrate with us. Them. I have fun. Okay, time really fast, so we just. Mayowa is also because Ikechukwu is also having you to come and champions celebrate. I know it's been a long time. Don't worry, it will come for you. Maybe in 15 years time more or 20 years more. All right, big thanks to the guys behind the scene talking about the likes of Segun. Ikechukwu is an Arsenal fan. Don't worry, try again next season. They call it the Netflix of the Premier League, have we? Next season, we will still see next season. Big thanks to the likes of Jerry also, as well as Sam, and not leaving out Silva. My name is Jerry Apple. I'm saying stay safe, and if not to it at all, to eat the sports.
To know